Greetings. Hey there. Today, the moon continues in Aries, Aquarius, getting outside the box, shaking things up, and opening to new ideas, new thinking, new possibilities. We also have an interesting grand trine that I want to talk about today, and I'm going to do a little bit of a chart demo. So hopefully you will enjoy that. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Thursday, October 30th. So before we jump in with a screen share, just as a reminder that Aquarius Moon, the mood of the day, is in that higher level thinking air sign of Aquarius. And so, just in terms of self care, it's a great time to do anything that supports you to have shifts in thinking because this is the time. This is the time when those new ideas, those epiphanies, those ways of seeing things that you couldn't see before can pop in. And that's kind of the way Aquarius energy works. It shows up all of a sudden from out of the blue. So create for yourself, right? For the conditions that help you to have those out of the blue thoughts. And the way to do that is anything that gets you outside of your current or your old thinking. So anything that helps you clear your mind, have a blank mind, maybe ask some questions, something that you're wanting insight into, but then don't fill it in with answers. Just create that open space of saying, here's what I want, here's what I want to call in, here's what I would like to experience or receive. And then this is the hard part, just let go. Don't have any expectations. Don't talk yourself in or out of it, right? Just be open. And from that space, especially if you have clear intentions, a clear question or something you want to see more clearly, something you want answers to, something that you want to get ideas on how to work with or how to, fulfill your creative process, something like that. So the way you do that is do anything that helps you clear your mind. And it sounds simple, but we have to do it on purpose. So that can be going for a walk, getting out in nature, spacing out in your garden or on a task that you're doing. Anything that just kind of gets you focused on what's in front of you, the here and now, and gets you out of your mind, out of the old habits and patterns in terms of how you think about things. Sometimes it happens when you're in the shower, right? Those shower epiphanies. So, why does it happen in the shower? Probably because you're outside of your normal environment where you experience the stress, the pressure, the worries. Is it going to work out? Am I going to figure this out? Whatever it is. So whatever helps you to recreate those conditions. Sometimes it's just sitting and staring out the window, right? That's getting spacey. And what are we doing when we're getting spacey? We're creating space. So maybe with a little bit of focus, we can use that space to call in some support or some insight into something that we want help with. So that's the Aquarius moon and self-care. Um, sit in front of that blank canvas. And if you don't know what to put on it, just step away, right? Don't push yourself into a place where you start spiraling in terms of challenging thoughts or old habits and patterns where you have old feelings coming up. So that's the Aquarius moon. We also have this grand trine in water, which I'm going to show you in just a moment in a screen share. But just briefly, that water energy is also bringing us the ability to feel a lot of things. And so we have this opening in terms of our energetic boundaries. So that can mean that we experience intuitive insights, psychic insights, the ability to connect with others, feel what they feel, that type of thing. But it also means that we need to have healthy boundaries because we don't want to be absorbing things that don't belong to us or things that we don't really have the ability to change, right? How often do you get caught up in something that there's nothing you can do about it? So that is not where you want to spend your time and energy, right? Redirect, refocus into where you can do something, where you can feel that experience of movement, no matter how small. And so, again, maybe it's just finding that place where you can space out, getting out in nature, doing something that helps you kind of shake things up and get outside of your patterns. And that might help you shake off some of the feelings you're picking up or psychic energies you're picking up from the world around you. So if you're noticing that, just recognize that's part of the vibe right now. And so take care of yourself in the ways you need to maintain your sense of self and your own boundaries. All right, so now I'm going to show you on a on a chart. And so for those of you who are not oriented to astrology or what a chart is, just just have that curiosity, that spirit of ability to see, right, like patterns, and you don't have to understand what it all means just to kind of get the vibe or the gist of some of these patterns that we're looking at. So either way, if you know astrology charts and it makes sense to you, or if you don't and it feels like totally foreign, either way, I think this will be interesting for you. So hang on here. Great. So here is the chart, and it is set for Los Angeles. It doesn't really matter where you are because I've set it to 0 degrees Aries. So in other words, we're not going to look at the houses here, but we are looking at some of these patterns that are going on here. And so one of them that I'm talking about is this big triangle here. And so that is a grand trine. The grand trine is between Jupiter and Mars in Scorpio. It did have Mercury joining in Scorpio as well over the last few days. Now Mercury is in Sagittarius. We can clear that. So, and then we can also see over here Saturn at 25 Pisces and Neptune at 29 Pisces. So, what's happening is that Jupiter over here is in Cancer and is moving into the later degrees of Cancer. So it's forming a trine to, well, it's currently in a trine to Saturn. It's moving into a trine to Neptune and is moving into or actually, Mars is moving away from a trine with Jupiter. All details, but the point is, I want you to see this big triangle going on here. And so it's activating water signs. It's activating Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, and we can include Neptune in Pisces over here as well. So Grand Trine, that is opening the gateway to water energy and the ability to feel on all levels. So Cancer in our emotional experience, our needs, Scorpio, our deeper needs, our process of transformation and how we feel things that are moving below the surface. And then Pisces, where we can feel all the things because we're interconnected. In Pisces, we have that experience of transcending boundaries and we feel our interconnectedness with all beings. And sometimes that means people or experiences that aren't really helpful for us. So that's why we have to have boundaries. All right, the other thing going on here. So Jupiter is almost in a sextile with Uranus. So you can see here, this is the outer planet. double sextile trine alignment. So it's also a triangle. It's a flatter triangle because these outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, are in 60 degrees of angular separation. So that means Neptune is 60 degrees in the 360-degree circle from Pluto, and Uranus is 60 degrees in the 360-degree circle from Neptune, which places Uranus in the 120-degree trine, which is this one here, to Pluto. So we have this outer planet sextile alignment, also kind of in an interesting formation here with the grand trine in water. So that puts Mars here in a sextile to Pluto. So we've got 3 sextiles, 1, 2, 3, making a cradle. With this opposition of Mars to Uranus and Mercury to Uranus, and then Jupiter over here almost hitting that additional point of what would be a 6-pointed star if we have this is the south node of the moon, but if we had something over here, right, we would have essentially a hexagon, so a 6-pointed star. So anyway, really cool energies. And I just wanted you to see that pattern here. I'll take the drawings away. And so you could see there's some extra stuff in here, but is it not really interesting? There's an opposition there, grand trine, this double sextile, and another trine. Just really cool patterns. So anyway, I just thought that was super interesting and wanted to show that to you. And so with that, I will let you go and find your ways to space out for today. And before you do that work to space out, be sure to set your clear intentions. Ask your question. Claim your right to the universe to call in what it is that will be helpful and supportive to you, what will make you feel better or move things forward or help to do the healing work that is making you feel stuck, right? Moving through and getting something moving that feels stuck. And that is that water energy wanting to flow. So get out of your own way, get clear about where you're going, right? Where do you want to end up? Because when you have this dialogue between yourself and your higher wisdom, or yourself and the universe, or however you want to think about that, when you have that dialogue, you're clear about here's what I want. Here's what I want to create. And I am willing, you're also saying, I am willing to make the changes I need to make on myself, right? The work on myself that will make me or help me be the person I need to be to have the things I want to have, or to have the experiences I want to have. So if that's abundance, joy, creative breakthroughs, recognition for your work, right? Whatever it is, be clear about what that feels like, because this water energy wants to flow, and we get in the way when we have our own confusing thoughts about, whether we deserve it or whether we're good enough or all of those things. So just let go of all that stuff. Just open. Just create a blank slate. Say, this is what I want. I don't know how I'm going to get there. And that I don't know is the way that you open the door to the answers that want to pop in and give you some insight, right? Let you know how to move or what to do next or how to think about it, or something that will help you to move forward into that place of shift. So that's what I've got for you today. I'm Marina Orms. You can book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com. I have a space available for readings coming up next week and beyond. So go check that out, astrologyheals.com. And my member site, transformationalastrology.com, is where you can get more engaged, support my work, and be there as we build this community together. So thanks for being here. And I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self care. Bye for now.